Dating back to the second half of the 5th century AD, the Qalb Monastery in Syria is the precursor of the Romanesque Byzantine style. The architectural design was taken by the Crusaders to Europe and led to the creation of Notre Dame de Paris. According to Diana Dark, a Syria specialist and expert in the Syrian region, Notre Dame's architectural design, like all Gothic cathedrals in Europe, comes directly from Syria's Qalb 5th century church. Crusaders brought the twin tower flanking the rose window concept back to Europe in the 12th century. Today, Qalb is a Druze village located in northwestern Syria, about 35 kilometers west of Aleppo. It is close to the Turkish border in the Ala mountain and is part of an area known as the Dead Cities, home to numerous Byzantine-era ruins. If you've been following my channel for some time or my social media platforms, I think it becomes quite obvious that I'm very much fascinated with the distant past, especially with the Byzantine era and the Greek-Roman antiquity. I always try to find a sense of archaic aesthetics in my drawings and reveal it. However, I am by no means a nostalgic person, even though it appears so since I focus mostly on the past. Nostalgia is a universal human experience. It is often connected to personal experiences from our past, and it's usually because we see the things filtered out. We filter memories, we eliminate the background noise, and we only remember what we perceived and experienced in our own personal context. Nostalgia also affects artists, historians, and generally people who are very interested in studying the past or the distant past. We look back at events that we cannot personally experience, and they are surrounded by this aura of mystery. And mystery we usually connect it with transcendence. This often poses the danger of idealizing people, idealizing events, idealizing cultures. It can further make us completely dissatisfied with the present, continuously looking back at the past and thinking of the paradise lost. A paradise which we never experienced, but because it is so mysterious, we think about it in idealistic terms. Last Sunday, we celebrated Easter according to the Eastern calendar. And so when I filmed this video, I thought a lot about the topic of resurrection. I know you might not be a Christian, but I really encourage and invite you to start studying the Christian worldview, and especially the impact of the riches of the Christian theology on our modern history. Even though I claim not to be a nostalgic person, I oftentimes find myself lamenting the destruction of the Eastern Roman Empire. As you probably know, this is my favorite period in our history, because I really believe that the epitome of aesthetics, of culture, of civilization was achieved during that time. The clothing, the architecture, the art created, the theology that was written under the patronage of the Basileos, all contribute to my idealized version of the Byzantium. Not to mention the geography of the Byzantine Empire, placed around the Mediterranean basin, with the climate and geography that could not be more ideal. But as the Roman saying so eloquently puts things into perspective, sic transit gloria mundi. This is how the glory of the world passes. And that's why the topic of resurrection is so important, because it allows us to see reality as it is. It allows us not to idealize things, but to enjoy what we have, honor the past, enjoy the beauties and the fruits of a civilization that was rooted in Christianity, but also see its downfalls and not compromise with sin, not compromise with justice, not compromise with things that were not how they were supposed to be. And so when you look at things from this perspective, you also see the ugly parts of an empire, the things that we are very reluctant in accepting. And not just about things outside of ourselves, but things that are in ourselves as well. And we have to conclude that everything built by force, built for power, built for glory, built on material things will never last. The only thing that lasts are things that were rooted in love, and not just any kind of love, because the world severely misrepresents the word. Love is not just a feeling. Love is far more than that. It is an action, an act of sheer will, an act of courage, an act of duty, an act of justice. And that is the agape love.